Hi, folks. Welcome to our next episode of In Conversation. I'm Nicholas Arnold, the Senior Marketing Manager at Attila Glatt's Concert Productions, and this is the series where we chat with the artists and producers and creators behind Salute to Vienna New Year's Concert. I'm so excited about my guest today. My guest began his musical career as a member of the famous Vienna Boys Choir before graduating from the University of Music and Performing Arts in Vienna. Debuting as Leonetto in Boccaccio at the Bern State Theater, my guest has since performed very famous roles, including Hamlet, Figaro, Papageno, and countless others. He has performed in Peking, Singapore, Moscow, Chicago, and Los Angeles, and is the first Austrian opera singer to receive the two most prestigious performing arts awards in the Czech Republic, the Thalia and the Lubuska. He is, of course, no stranger to Salute to Vienna. This year, he will be performing at Jack Singer Concert Hall in Calgary on January 1st and the Winsphere Center in Edmonton on January 2nd. Please welcome my guest, Mr. Thomas Weinhappel. Thomas, nice to see you.
Hello, nice to see you.
Thank you so much for doing this. I'm honestly so inspired by your outlook and work ethic. I've been watching some previous interviews you've done. I've listened to quotes that you've done, and there's so much I could go into that, we'd end up talking for 90 minutes. So, let's just get into it because I want to get as much covered as we possibly can. And I guess what I want to know is where this work ethic comes from. I know you were, I think, 8 years old when you started with the Vienna Boys Choir. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually, where it comes from, there was only one desire in my life to be a singer. So my mom keeps telling me that at the age of 4 or something, I'm from a little village in Lower Austria. I begged for, may I sing something for you guys? So, and then I saw one of these famous Vienna Boys Choir movies in the television, said, Mommy, I want to go there. I want to try it. And fortunately, I got in, and these 6 years from 8 to 14 were very special. You have to think about our tours are up to 4 months in a row. Yeah, in America, South America, Japan, and we're doing really up to 6 performances a week.
Yeah.
In almost every concert hall, even the Carnegie Hall, I'm still very proud of that. And this gives you an opportunity to learn so much about music, to how to react with the audience. And I noticed so quickly that you get so much pleasure and positive vibes back from the audience, which I'm honestly now addicted to.
Yeah,
I love
of
to
course.
perform and give this warm energy back, which is really very special at Salute to Vienna concerts, because it's not an opera where is something bad happen and all the stuff which nearly is all the time. But in these Salute to Vienna concerts, people are so happy to hear the music from Europe and to hear this music they already know. They want to hear that, and it's a special occasion, New Year's Eve. Yeah, everybody's happy, celebrating with friends, and the energy of this marvelous halls, the acoustic, the orchestra is really very special for me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Marion Glad's one of the co-founders of Salute to Vienna is often referred to it as like a pop concert, a classical
Yes.
pop concert, which I'm sure you would agree with. Yeah, so that's fascinating. So your earliest memory of kind of being passionate about singing is 4. Was there anything that influenced that, or did it just come naturally? Like, were your parents musical at all? Was there any musicality around you, or did you just see it like I said on or like you said on TV with the Vienna Boys Choir and think, I want to do that?
Honestly, I have to thank my dad. My dad was a hobby musician. He used to sing. He played the guitar. He played the also violin. He was really the person who loved music,
Mm-hmm.
but had not the choice or the opportunity to make his living as a musician. He always wanted to. We were listening so much together, opera, musical, everything together. We were so close, and it's it sounds strange when you say you live the dream of your dad. It's normally it sounds so negative, yeah. But in that case, it's positive. And he always said, Thomas, you're great. I believe in you, and he always supported me. So some colleagues from me told me during my career, it was for them really hard to say, hey, mommy, daddy, I want to become a singer, a professional singer. So do something
Practical.
real or
Yeah.
normal. And I never had that problem. So I wanted to become a singer, and they said, okay, all the best. And what can I do for you? So I'm really very happy for that. And altogether, it worked out really well.
Oh, well, clearly, yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. And I again, I mentioned this at the beginning, but I admire your work ethic and the way in which I want to talk about kind of how you use the pandemic to your advantage and all of that kind of stuff eventually. But do you account a lot of that to the Vienna Boys Choir? Like, did it really train you to kind of like the discipline and the working hard? Or again, is that something that came naturally or from your parents? Like, where did that work ethic come from? I want to know.
Also honestly, it was a special time to be there. It was like in life, nothing is just easy, cheesy, and positive. Yeah. When you're 8 or 9 years, you're still a child. Yeah. And to be a member of the Wiener Boys Choir is really very professional singer life. Yeah, I mentioned 6 times a week a performance when maybe you just want to play your read a book or play with your mates or playing a Game Boy. Yeah. So no, you have to be on stage. You have to be. I was fortunately always a soloist, so I had to really be in a good condition, and I learned very quick to be good to your body, because then your body's good to you. That's still the thing. I'm living here, and yeah, about the stage performance. Yeah, when I remember really, so I remember it as it was yesterday, to sing at the Carnegie Hall, and when you imagine this, and you have to train for these moments. You have to maybe sing not so important concerts to lose your stage fright, and how to act naturally. And this is very important. You cannot learn this in a minute. You need a lot of time for that. And I had the time, and I really took it, and I had so very good teachers, vocal coaches, and how to let's say make phrasings. And so my English not so well in that
No,
case,
yeah.
to how to pronounce, how to fulfill music score with life, with everything. And this is for me also now the very most important thing to on the stage, that it's not just music, it's not just technique, it's not just tone as a music, it's passion, it's your heart. You give something to the people, because this is the thing which the people really, if you're a pro or just a person who likes music, you feel it immediately. And this is why people come in live performances. There's can never be any perfectly recording of which is the life is never perfect to perform live. Let's be true, yeah. Let's be honest. But the heart, that's often more important than just being perfect. Yeah.
I love this
And
because
this I really learned that.
yeah, you're touching on so many things that I want to talk about, which is great. We could go in 50 different directions. And I think just to your point about Carnegie Hall, for those that don't know, like as a performer, Carnegie Hall is like this thing that you reach towards, you know. Like it's a goal for many people. So to get on stage there is a very big moment and a very humbling moment. Um, yeah, one thing I wanted to ask about, and this is perfect, is you're talking about you know, how much you bring to yourself on stage and the passion and infusing the passion, which you do so well. And I've watched some clips of your performance. And I guess what I wanted to know was, do you have any acting background in there? Because you are, along with being a very talented singer, and it goes with being a baritone, I think, because the baritones do tend to have these like intense roles. But your acting skills are right up there, as well as your vocal skills. And I was wondering where that maybe came from, or if that's just something you've learned through the music, through performing songs.
Yeah, so I'm really happy that you like what I'm doing. Honestly, I worked really hard on that because I never wanted to be a singer, to be on stage, and that is hard enough to be a singer to make it technically, but really to always find new borders, yeah. And I I, I had a beautiful experience. I was acting and singing in one movie with Michael Haneke,
Yes, I was
the
going to ask
piano
about that. So
teacher.
perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Tell me, but just
it
before we
was
get into
so
that,
special.
tell me how that came about. How did he discover you? Because I did want to ask you about that anyway. So let's talk about that. How did he find you, and tell me about that experience?
That was really a funny story. As actually, in the he did write the book for the movie, yeah. And in the original book, there was no singer in it. Just the story about the piano teacher, which played then Isabelle Huppert amazingly. And but he is so addicted to leader, yeah. And he's a Julius Patzak fan, and he wanted to have a tenor, it has to be a young character. And so they were looking for a tenor, a young character, a young tenor, but he was never pleased with the leader is one of the most difficult things. And I learned that singing leader, Schubert leader, very early with the Vienna Boys Choir. So I was, with the age of 18, 19, not as developed with the voice, but I, 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 I knew how to do it more or less. And then I made the audition for that. And then he said, yes, Thomas, uh, I like you. You touched me. And he's really a nerd with Lieder, yeah, and we talked so much about Lieder, the Winterreise, and Michael Haneke is such an honest. He just wants to have honest playing. He's also doing. He did also later opera,
Mm.
but his movies are really very pure and wonderful passion. We talked so much. We got really good friends in this period, and he said to me, which I'm very proud of, that he said that I'm able to make persons out of roles. Yeah.
Nice.
And I was so fortunate that I had some teachers who really worked very hard with me. So it was not just let's do it. So now, Thomas, that's not you. Let's go deeper. I know you can do it. And then then you really discover new, honest, honest sides of you, and you always give something from yourself. It's not something that's just acting. You're always giving a part of yourself. And let's say I got used to that, and that's for me, even in concerts, yeah. When you have no stagings, then you can do a lot.
Yeah.
Even with standing, it's just the energy you're sending and what are you really feeling, and you, yeah, has to be open, and you make yourself also vulnerable in that moment, yeah. And yeah,
Yeah.
you have to
I
be.
The other thing I want to point out though is, yes, you've played these very intense roles in Don Giovanni and Hamlet, but you've also got like a really strong comedic side, and that comes out in some of the other roles that you played, as well as even just the lighter music of Johann Strauss with Salute to Vienna and that. So it's you've got equal access, it seems, to these two sides of you. But how do you prep for each different thing? So like, is the prep different if you're prepping for an intense role like Hamlet versus Salute to Vienna emotionally, or is it kind of just the same and you're just telling the story on stage? Like, what does that prep look like for you for the different roles?
Actually, Hamlet was very intense because in this, as Hamlet, you have really in this 4 acts or 5 acts actually, you have all the colors of a personality, which
Mm.
can be. Yeah? that makes it more difficult. But and operette's a little bit lighter. But even Danilo, the Mere Widow, he suffers at the moment, and there's loss and the pain. They're too proud. Danilo and Hannah are too proud to admit that they love each other. So that's actually the same in a different ambiente scene. So actually, I want to tell you, it's the same preparation. It's just a different topic. I
Yeah.
go in both situations on the same level on preparation. Yeah.
And I know you do a lot of research. Like you research the roles. And do you approach the same? We're going to talk about Salute to Vienna and how that came across your life in a bit, but just to jump ahead to that, do you approach the same thing? So when you're looking at operetta music, the music of Johann Strauss, are you doing research behind when the songs were written, why they were written, what you can bring to it? Talk to me a little bit about that very disciplined research that you do.
The research is very important. Nowadays, we're so lucky that we have so many live YouTube recordings, which I love. I tried really to get into everything and see something which like more or less. And the literature is, I have also very good professors and colleagues and when I work often on stage, the directors, we become friends, and these directors are often more older, they have more experience, and when you share that, this is often the most interesting things. People who are in the business for many years, and they know it, and you just have to listen, and it's a long process. And now I have also some experiences. I did many roles several times, and every time it grows. You see a new layer, yeah, and that's very important. And that's, you always have to be open and try to find new things. And I think that's also makes somebody feel young.
Yeah.
and and that's very important. Yeah, I totally agree. And um, a singer is never just singing; it's so much more. And then before the performance, that's very important. You forget everything you learned and just be it. Yeah. Don't think about about everything you tried and all stuff. And in the moment it starts, just be it. And because you have everything in your subconsciousness. And I don't know if you can say that in English.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And and then just and then you bring everything on it, because in the moment you cannot focus on so many different things. Just be it and yeah.
I was gonna ask about that. Are you feeding off because I imagine the audience's energy makes it different as well, depending on like what you're getting from even just the people in the front row, or just the energy of 2,000 people in a hall can change things, right? For you as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As honestly, I think I'm never as good as with audience. I think there can be never recording, blah blah. So I'm fortunately, yeah, there are colleagues. They're, let's say, oh, I really like recordings, and then I can be by myself. And but I love the energy of the audience, and for me, I'm never as good in any rehearsal than on the performance.
Yeah.
And I get, yes, you see that the first rows, or depends on the, but I feel more, I try to forget the individuum itself. I try to get the energy of all the people, which is actually amazing in with this really big halls, which I'm so grateful that I'm singing in these halls for years now. And Marion and Attila, thank you so much for the opportunity, and still for the new chances. I'm very grateful for that.
I'll make sure they see that. I'll send them that. I'll just send them that clip, the thank you clip. Yeah, and this is kind of a great segue into the next part that I wanted to talk about is so I think for those who aren't in the performing arts or aren't performers themselves, it's hard to describe how devastating the last 2 years were when that is taken, or 2.5 years,
Mm.
when that is taken away from us as performers, because it you just described why it's so special and why, like, what it does to bring you alive. Talk to me a little bit about what went through your head obviously I know that you turned it into a positive, but the initial devastation, what went through your head when you realized, oh, I can't do what I love right now? Everything's locked down, and what is happening, and what am I going to do? Did you lose a sense of purpose a little bit at the beginning?
Honestly, like I told you before, I knew very early what to do. I never, I cannot think of doing anything else, really. So I wasn't sure how long this pandemic will last. Also, I thought actually it takes longer than these 2.5 years,
Yeah.
but I knew it. There's just this wonderful phrase of when life gives you lemon, make some juice out of it. Yeah. So I did as well when the pandemic started. I was in Paris doing Don Giovanni. We did the premiere, and after the premiere, well, thank you guys. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So got back and was yeah shocked like everybody else uh, and yeah and since then I was very fortunately very engaged all the time. And when you're very engaged in, then you have to prepare for the actual parts, yeah, to sing. But you don't have so much time to prepare for new things like in a when you study singing, yeah. So I really wanted to make a change in my Fach to go to the from the Cavalier Baritone to the Dramatic Baritone because I'm so in love with Wagner and Strauss and this really great music. And so I took the chance and studied in these 2.5 years Wotan, Fliegender Holländer, Telramund and Mandrika of Strauss and Johannan, also really 5 parts. And as you for sure you know, these parts are not small. So this Wotan is never ending, and I got so in it and next and honestly it's between us to say to learn a new part without a contract is not so easy as with a contract, to be honest, yeah. So but I said to myself, there's only one way to go straight, or no, there's nothing else. And the other side is also very nice for me. I have now a 3.5-year-old daughter,
Hey,
and
congrats.
thank you. And to be honest, I never would have had so much time to see her in the first years, which people tell me is so important. I was every day home, which was I know my wife for 8, 9 years, and she knows how it works. We were all the time together. That was really a beautiful side of the pandemic. And so, and now I'm here now in like I think you didn't mention it now. I'm here in Germany, in Bremerhaven, in a very, very nice opera house. And I'm doing my first dramatic baritone role, Kaspar in Freischütz, which, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We have now, the premiere is on the 25th of December. So 1 week before I'm
Oh,
performing
yeah,
with you guys.
yeah.
And yes, I'm uh, these 2.5 years, I spent so much effort in developing in learning you and the voice needs time to change. I have a wonderful teacher, Frau Franz Vetter, which she's in Berlin based. We worked so hard on it, and now I'm really really happy that I used this pandemic to a change which I couldn't do honestly during my normal routine. So, yes, that's my story about the pandemic now.
I have to commend you on that though, because I think it's so easy to fall into despair and not do
Mm.
anything. And maybe, yeah, maybe it's because of your time at the Vienna Boys Choir and the discipline that was developed there. But I think it's very commendable that you naturally went, okay, what can I do? with this time, and what are the
Maybe I'm crazy. It's the
yeah, or
only way
maybe
for
you're
me.
just yeah, maybe you're just insane, and so this is great, and congratulations that you know reached this goal of playing a dramatic baritone. Can you, for the people who don't know, can you kind of explain what the difference of a lyrical baritone versus dramatic baritone, or you had another word for it in uh,
Cavalier, Cavalier Bariton? Or
yes, yeah. So just explain the difference, because I don't think people realize that there's levels to us deep voiced
yeah.
guys there, right? So yeah, describe kind of what that difference was and how you developed into the dramatic baritone that you
So
are now.
first of all, it's not everybody, not every voice is going to to make to these changes. It depends that you have to have the physicality for that. But normally you start as a young baritone with Papageno, Guglielmo, and all this lyrical light stuff. And then you're coming to this more dramatic stuff, to Cavalier Bariton, the Cavaliere, like Don Giovanni, the Conte Almaviva, and also let's say the Verdi-Fach, the lighter Verdi-Fach, like Renato and Germain maybe. And then there is the really heavy stuff, the dramatic baritone, and these are also often very evil characters, like Caspar, he making a bond with the devil, and also Wotan, also all these Wagner characters, which are yeah, Wotan is not the typical super bad guy, but the good guy is also not, and this, yeah, the most different, what's important is the Wagner orchestra is way bigger. So you have to have the power to be over a big orchestra. And Richard Strauss is even bigger. And when you have this Rosenkavalier and Ariadne of Naxos and Arabella, you know, you have up to 100 people in the orchestra. Yeah? And think Mozart is up to 40, 45 something. Yeah?
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to, and you have to survive. Let's say you have to survive with these never-ending parts, and yeah, and therefore we have to train a lot. You have to give the voice the opportunity to grow, and yeah, and
No,
that's
it's
the goal.
incredible. Like I don't think people you know, I know they realize, but it's like when you realize actually how much physical work has to go into
Mm.
doing that, because of course you know, talented people like yourself, they make it look effortless, right? We're watching it on stage,
Well, thank you.
but it's
I'm a good
but
actor.
here you are rehearsing right now, right? Like it's a lot of work. It's and as you just said, two years of work to develop that. On a lighter note, tell me how Salute to Vienna came across your desk, and how you met up with Marion and Attila, and how that has become a part of your life now.
Yeah, I'm so happy to meet we're lucky to meet these two beautiful people. They are very nice and very good friends now. And they are, what I like about these two guys, they have a view for what is possible to give the people pleasure, fun, and professionality. And first of all, in America, the people like that kind of music. So, and there's also a big history and tradition for that. And they give it pure in high quality. And over years, that's amazing. And I think it's now my eighth or ninth time to be there.
So
And we also can change things there. And I'm also very lucky to have a very good partner, Lila Gallenbosch. She's a very good soprano, and she taught me how to dance.
yeah,
So you guys, when you're now in Calgary and Edmonton, we are going to make a really cool acrobatic show as well, which is also a new color, a color you can add to all your things, which is very important in that kind of music. And
yeah.
that's very spectacular. You have the ballet there as well, but we singers, we're going to give also a special show, which is also a very interesting color in operatic music, which I love.
I think that's what's so great about Salute to Vienna is the Marion and Attila allow you guys as the performers to bring your special personal touch. So
Absolutely.
if you're seeing it in Los Angeles, obviously you're getting the same quality, but it's going to be a little bit different and a little bit special. So each audience is getting, because they're seeing, you know, in Edmonton and Calgary, they're seeing Thomas and Leela together, which is different from the show that's in Toronto, or you know, and everything like that. Right? Have you performed with Lila Galambos before?
Yes, we are
Yeah.
doing it actually all the times together,
Oh, perfect.
and we are a very good team now, and I'm so grateful for the support of Marin Attila for that, and uh, and that's also a color which is for me also very interesting to do also this now also dramatic parts and also Giovanni and all the stuff, but to have this color of experience to do that, which it's another thing you cannot do all the time. And I love that when the people are, let's say, really wow when we're doing acrobatic stuff, which we have to work hard on it as everything. And I really appreciate it, and I'm so happy for the opportunity to make this show in this ambiente with also the wonderful orchestras there. Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. I'm gonna put you on the spot here, Thomas. Uh, Tell me how you would describe Salute to Vienna to someone who has never seen it. If you were just saying, "Hey, come see this show," and they're like, what is it?"
How much time do you have?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Give me the elevator pitch, as they say, us going down in an elevator together. Yeah,
Salute to Vienna is a Salute to Vienna is a very special show which gives you everything. It's a wonderful orchestra, wonderful music, happiness, wonderful costumes and choreographies, and also jokes, fun, which is also very important in a performance like that. And for sure, just pleasure. And you're waiting for the next New Year's concert so that it happens again. And it's just fun. And these 2 hours are passing by like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic, Thomas. You know, I'm so excited for you and where your career is heading. I hope we do get a chance to meet up on your layover on the way to
Oh,
Calgary. There,
pleasure.
that would be fantastic. And even more so, I hope I get the chance to see you perform live soon. Because as you said, uh, and your career, I think, is evidence of this. There is nothing like seeing someone live. There's the recording, but when you're feeding off the energy of the audience, as you do so well, it's a really, really special thing. So the people of Alberta are in for an absolute treat this New Year's, and I'm sure they can't wait as well. Thanks so much for sitting down and chatting with me. I could keep going for well over an hour with you. There's so much to talk about, which means we'll have to do this again sometime if you're down.
I feel the same. I feel the same.
Fantastic. Thomas, best of luck with everything you have going on. I know this is a super, super busy time. Hopefully, you make some time there for your lovely wife and daughter and have a lovely holiday season with them as well. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Thomas. Bye.